Alright guys, what is going on? My name is Pipe Bomb City and welcome to my WWE Money in the Bank 2017 review for you guys. Before this video begins, check out my Instagram at Pipe Bomb City. We're pretty much less than 100 followers away from 15,000. Thank you guys so very much for that. Be sure to check out my YouTube. Of course, that's why you're fucking here. I'm a dumbass. Be sure to subscribe and like this video, guys. Here's the deal, alright? Money in the Bank just happened yesterday. I did not get to watch it live. I had work. I missed the show live, okay? So I watched it today, and I knew the results going into the show. So I might have been a little because people were really shocked about certain events that happened, and I already knew about those, so I knew some of that shit coming into the pay-per-view. So my reactions to the winners and the losers and the matches went a bit differently than how most people handled it. So I'm just going to say that right there. Overall, I do not think Money in the Bank was a bad pay-per-view match-wise. I felt like the WWE Championship match was fantastic. The Money in the Bank match was match of the night. It was really fucking good. We had Mike and Maria debut, and then we had the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which I personally did not think the match itself was that bad, you know? I felt like the filler matches were not good. You know, Breezango versus the Ascension, I'm not even going to mention that in this review. It was pretty much just irrelevant. Lana versus Naomi was, for Lana's first match, I didn't think it was bad necessarily, but it was probably the lowest match of the night. And then we had New Day versus the Usos, which was good. It started out slow, and it really picked up towards the end. And then, of course, the count-out finish, I really didn't think was that bad. I kind of liked it, honestly. You know, Usos are the heels. I want to see more of New Day and Usos. They really go well together rivalry-wise, so I like to see more of that, so I'm fine that that ended in count-out. But overall, though, point is, I do not think the matches were bad. The outcomes. A lot of people are upset, not that Carmella won the briefcase, but how she won it. I will get to that in a few seconds here. A lot of people are surprisingly upset that Corbin won. It's like, I hope people, I mean, of course, Shinsuke is a big name in that match, you know, and then you had Styles. Those were the two really big names in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I didn't think either of those guys was going to win. It was too blatant and obvious, you know. And then people are mad that Jinder won, which, I mean, I didn't really think that Orton was going to win, so I don't know why people are upset. People actually thought Lana were going to win the championship. Lana was going to win the championship, so that's a whole... So a lot of people are upset with this shit, you know? Let's get straight into this right here, after talking for like 2 minutes of nonsense. Here we go with Carmella winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. This is interesting, man. To me, it is. A lot of people, like I said, a lot of fucking people are so mad about this. It's literally, on one hand, so pretty much in case you don't know, which, I mean, it'd be impossible not to at this point, you know. Carmella won the briefcase. It's all fine and dandy, but Ellsworth, let me set the stage real quick. Let me set the stage. The first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match. The women, this is pretty much the... it's not like we're going to have a fucking women's Royal Rumble, right? So this is pretty much... We fucking might, honestly, but this is the epitome of the new women's... if that's even still a thing. The women's revolution. They're pretty much household names now. They're superstars. So that's... It's pretty much... This is it. You know, like, this is the peak. Like, after this match, it was going to be all equal, no bullshit anymore, because... Let me just say, the women tonight actually did it. They and everyone was skeptical. They're saying, women can't have a ladder match. Fuck, man, they did. They used the damn ladders. Everybody was taking shots. So I must give my respect to that, because that was just amazing, you know. I really enjoyed that. That they really had a good match, in my opinion, you know. However, you know, this is like history making. This is supposed to be like a huge ass deal. And people would already be skeptical. People would already be skeptical of, you know, it being historic that Carmella won it, which I personally don't have a problem with it, but people were already not happy that Carmella won in the first place, you know, some. But how she won it is that Ellsworth went up the ladder, you know, and we've seen women do that in men's ladder matches. You know, they try to go up there. None of them actually succeed, But now we have a case of what actually would happen if they did succeed. And unfortunately, it was the wrong place in the wrong match at the wrong time because Ellsworth went up. Everybody's pretty much down. Carmella's laying right next to the ladder. Ellsworth goes up, and he pulls down the briefcase. On one side, it has created so much heat for Carmella and Ellsworth. It has created so much that literally more people are talking about Carmella and Ellsworth more than Corbin. And Corbin won, the men's ladder match, which is very interesting to me. I guarantee, though, so I will give WWE credit if Charlotte won, which I would prefer, if Becky won, any of those two. Even, if any of the 5 women won, but, mainly Charlotte and Becky, I feel like there would be a reaction, of course, but it wouldn't be as strong as Corbin winning. However, just the fact that how Carmella won it, you had the man just shaming on all the women in the first ever historic match. You had the man go up and he had to win the briefcase. That's the downside of that. Money-wise, it's good because people are going to tune into SmackDown because Carmella's the new fucking #1 heel now. But on the bad side, in history, in the history books, it will say that truly the first ever winner, the man who, the person who grabbed the women's briefcase was James Ellsworth. That's the problem. Overall, I think the match was great. How it ended, I'm absolutely just not happy with. I really just, and I was trying to keep my cool. I'm like, this is pretty fucking bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But I can't keep the cool about that. I can't try to always be like, oh, well, at least this happened. Like, it's just the first ever women's ladder match for Money in the Bank. And the man won it. And James Ellsworth, the lowest of the man. What? I don't know. It's just it's not good. But it also is kind of good. But it's not. So that's my review on that. Next up, we had the New Day versus the Usos for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. I lightly touched on this earlier. Ended in a countout, which I think was fine. This was pretty much a mountain of a match. It started slow, and it picked up. It picked straight up, on a curve. It just, boop, went up like a rainbow. Phew. I'm moving my hands. You can't fucking see it, but anyway, I gotta remind myself that no one can see my hand motions I'm doing right now. So it started out slow and it picked up and picked up, and before the match ended, of course, it was getting intense. I loved it. It did end in count out, which a lot of people weren't happy with. Usos packed their shit and they grabbed the titles and they went out through the crowd. I have no problem with that, honestly. I would imagine that most people are upset about it. From what I've heard, they are. Not as big of a controversy as, Jinder, Corbin, and Carmella, and of course Mike and Maria. Not many people were concerned with that. But with New Day, I'm talking about, as those matches. But, I think it ended fine. And maybe it's because most people are happy with it. I would imagine not so. But overall, I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was an alright match, Not match of the year for tag teams at all, by any means. Not like the NXT Tag Team Championship matches at all. That's not what I'm saying. It was an average match. It was good. It was subpar. Those are the words I'll give you. So that's that. Can't wait for a rematch. Up next, alright, this is the part where I pretty much lost chronological order, but I'm pretty sure we had the filler match right here. I don't give any shits. After that, I believe we had the women's... We had the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match between Naomi and Lana. Now, Naomi's entrance, at first, I was so skeptical of it. When the SmackDown Live roster was first introduced, it was the SmackDown Live right after the draft, and Naomi came out and she was doing these fucking dances and everything was glowing up and she had this like dun, 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 fucking music going on. I was super not a fan of that. I did not like that at all. Now, whenever Naomi comes out, especially like when she's winning the championship itself, and if it's in championship matches, I get fucking... I love that. I love her entrance now. I'm like fucking jamming out with her, having fucking good time, and then the lights come on. I'm like, yeah, man, it's fucking amazing. I love it. This match, though, Lana came out. She was pretty much naked at this point. A lot of memes going around about that. stuff that went on. I'm not going to touch on that in case I have younger viewers. No one gives a shit. It's the fucking internet. Okay, but Naomi versus Lana overall. For like I said earlier, for Lana's first match and it being, first championship match and stuff, I thought it was okay for her. But it was the worst match of the night, not counting the Ascensions versus Breed Zongo. Not counting that. Like, the actual 5 main matches, not counting the kickoff or anything. The actual 5 main matches on the card, this, of course, was the lowest. But that's expected when you have 2 championship matches and then, two main people in SmackDown Live, right? And then you have the 2 Money in the Bank matches, which is the name of the fucking pay-per-view. So, of course, this match was going to be the lowest. People expected that. A lot of people were rooting for Lana. I wasn't. I think that'd be a dumbass idea, especially because I knew that this was going to happen. I didn't think Lana was going to come back and have these amazing wrestling skills. Like I said, for her first match, really, because when's the last time she wrestled on TV? It was at WrestleMania on the kickoff. She was in a 5-on-5 women's match at WrestleMania 32, and that was last April. So that's it's 14 months ago, okay? And that was her pretty much first match on television, right? And it was still the kickoff. So, of course, I knew that this wasn't going to be the best match. But again, for Lana, I thought it was good. Naomi really tried to... Naomi had some hard shot. These two were fucking hitting each other hard, though. The only problem I have with the match, and it isn't these two's fault, it's the crowd. The crowd, and of course it's expected, everyone was pissed off with Carmella and Ellsworth, and then everyone was even more pissed off that the tag team match ended in a countout. And then you got all these fucking Breezango shits. So everyone was pretty pissed. The crowd, and props to the St. Louis crowd. Usually, I'm not a fan of the St. Louis crowd. They're usually pretty quiet, less than the average crowd. But tonight, they fucking rocked it, so I will give them credit for that. But this match, they were just dead. And I didn't really think it deserved. And, I'm saying, men and women, they're equal. And, you should cheer for the women like you cheer for the men. No, that's bullshit. I don't give any shits about that. No offense. Actually, I don't care. Fuck you. So, I just think that they actually weren't putting on, this garbage match. And they were, and the crowd was kind of treating it okay, let's go fucking take a piss break. It just, I didn't think it deserved, how quiet it was. Because there were some hard-ass shots, and stuff was happening. Of course, it wasn't as fast and as, high risk as all the other matches, but I didn't really think it deserved for it to be okay for you to hear a pin drop in the arena, right? So that's my only problem with that. So, again, of course, it was, it was the worst match in the card. It was less than the average match, but that's fine. I thought Lana is making tremendous progress, especially, just seeing how far she comes. So that's good, at least, Moving on to the 2 main shits, technically, even though literally Carmella's Worth is the biggest thing that is talked about from this pay-per-view. With the WWE Championship match, which everyone's why is the WWE Championship match before the Money in the Bank ladder match? Okay, pay-per-view is called Money in the Bank. Why the fuck would the WWE Championship match be last? Yeah, it's prestigious. Shut the fuck up. Jinder Mahal's the fucking champion. I don't care. Oh, but Jinder's trying to make the title relevant. Shut the fuck up. So WWE Championship match was second to last, which, again, the fucking name of the pay-per-view is Money in the Bank. The Money in the Bank ladder match is going to be last. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay. So this match was better than the one at Backlash. I felt like they had a pretty good one at Backlash. It was the average match. It was average. It wasn't the above average match. It was pretty good, right? It was okay. Okay, that's a good word for it. It was okay. It was okay, right? No problems. Other than Orton killing the Sin Brothers. That was the main takeaway from their match at Backlash, and he did the same thing tonight. But unlike Backlash, where Orton killing the Singh brothers was the main thing, this match was better because that wasn't really the main thing. It happened, he fucking killed them again. Some would argue that it's even worse this time, but I didn't really think I thought it was overall a much better match. So this was a good. I will classify this under the good category. Not the okay, not the below average, not the average, not the above average, not the amazing. The good match. This is a good match. This is a WWE Championship worthy match. Maybe. I thought it was alright though. I thought Jinder looked great. I thought the Sin Brothers really looked great. And I thought Orton really looked like an ass kicker tonight. I really thought that. And I've not thought that about Orton in a long ass time. So props to Orton, But moving on, I didn't mention that Mike and Maria debuted. I don't remember when that happened in the card. So, talking about that, the last name, right? They both had the same name, last name, which I really am not a fan of. I understand why they would want to change it, right? Because Mike Bennett can go off somewhere else in another company. That's an issue, you know, if they kept the name. So I understand that, right? But Mike and Maria Kanellis just does not... Mike Kanellis, that name, I'm looking at this individually. Maria Kanellis, I'm fine with. She's Maria, of course, you know, and of course I didn't even mention that these two have been in the indies for years. Maria was formerly in the WWE, so that's good. That's all fun, right? They got a huge pop, actually. I was really surprised, you know, that many people knew Mike and Maria, because of course they've been the talk, but it's not like how Kenny Omega was in the Rumble, not how AJ Styles was in the previous Rumble before that. It's not like this big deal. I think, well, now it is, but not that many people were talking about it, right? Also, there was a picture of them in the airport in Missouri before Money in the Bank, so everyone was like, look at this. But then also there were pictures of CM Punk in New Orleans before fucking WrestleMania 30, and everyone was like, oh, that's bullshit. So I don't really believe that stuff, right? But it actually did happen, so props to the internet for spoiling shit. Except I already knew about it before I watched the show, so it doesn't matter to me. But whatever, fuck you, subscribe. So, I don't like the last name, Mike. I don't like it. It doesn't connect. It doesn't click. I don't know what connect is. Mike Bennett. It's just, ugh, I love it, right? That's my thoughts on that. I'm excited. They're on the SmackDown Live roster, so nice choice, WWE. Good on you. So then we had the Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm going to try to summarize this as quickly as possible. High risk. There were plenty of fucking spots. Corbin won. And the Styles versus Nakamura standoff. Oh my god. The picture just looked just so epic. That's the word. I have not ever used that word. And I think that's a lie. But I do not use this word. It was just epic. Bro, I'll stop. It was just fucking amazing, right? They're both standing off like, I'm a fucking up. I just fucking loved it. That's the moments I live for, people. It was fucking beautiful. And then they started squaring off. SummerSlam main event, fucking WrestleMania 34 main event. Nakamura versus Styles. I'm paying for that. Well, I have the network. But goddamn, if I didn't, I'd pay for that. My god. So... that's fun, you know, and then Corbin attacked Nakamura before, and one does not simply interrupt Nakamura's entrance, you know. I felt like this was a really good way of, you know, because people have been complaining, like, I know Wade Keller and Stone Cold, they talk about that a lot, how Shinsuke is supposed to be, like, this big deal. He only wrestles in, like, big deal matches. This was a big deal match, and I honestly like that they took out Nakamura at the beginning, and then he came back. Huge pop. And when he ran down the ramp, his music ended and the crowd was still singing it for a solid 2 minutes and shit. So, I was just like, and Nakamura was kicking everybody's ass. Fucking Kinshasa's everywhere. I was dying. I loved it. Corbin ends up winning though. I'm fine with that. I thought that was good, you know. Baron Corbin, future WWE champion. I don't think he'll fail to cash in. I'm really hoping he doesn't fail to cash in, because that would kind of suck. But Baron Corbin being WWE champion, very interesting. That's pretty much my Money in the Bank review. Overall, crowd was pretty good for what they were given, right? And I think the show was okay. I don't think it was below average. I don't think it was above average by any means. It was just an okay pay-per-view. Not many people are going to remember Money in the Bank other than pretty much the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I will always remember, you know, Corbin winning and stuff, and Mahal versus Orton. People could say that, and then Mike and Maria debuting. But really, the big takeaway from Money in the Bank for most people, from what I've seen, is Carmella winning. So that's that. Thank you guys so very much for watching. This has been Pipe Bomb City. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Money in the Bank 2017 review. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. Just kidding. No one comments on my videos. And be sure to check out my Instagram at Pipe Bomb City. We're almost at 15,000. 15K. Yes. Thank you guys so very much for watching. This has been Pipe Bomb City. And I will see you all next time.
Tonight is the night. Bright lights, high crowd, yeah, we even throw down every